Hey guys, this is Denise Diane, and I'm just going to update you on what I've been reading so far while I've been painting. And something that I'm just so in love with right now, and especially because I started a novel, a graphic novel, a few years back, right? And I have not finished it at all. I wanted a whole 4 volumes of it, like this series. And this book here that I'm reading is an update from the library checkouts that I've already shown you guys. When I checked out Habibi and I think The Golden Voice and this one here, A Career in Books. Can you see it? Can you see it? There it is. A Career in Books by Kate Gavino. And I looked up Kate Gavino. Pretty upset that she did not make this a series and have at least 50 of these books because these are my friends. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I love it. It's a story about these 3 friends who move in together. They share an apartment, and their apartment building, there's also a famous writer who's won some big prize for a book she wrote, and then she also wrote some other books that are not as serious as that award-winning book, and the girls find out about it and trying to get these back into rotation and republished, right? So it's really cool, and they all are in the literary world as far as employment, and it's just fascinating. The pictures are beautiful. The story is fun. Sometimes I just read 2 or 3 pages and then I just wander off into a fantasy world of being inspired and finishing my graphic novel, and not to make it so heavy and put myself in this timeline that I end up crushing my own dreams and just setting it aside thinking I'm never going to finish this, it's not going to be that good, and why am I trying to do so much background work in history. It could be this light and this fun, and I need to finish my book, and this is inspiring me to do so. And look at the pictures. First of all, let me show you. These are my friends, these are my girls. And again, working in publishing, assistance, anything that has to do with the literary world. One of them is a writer, and she really, I think, is starting to get inspired to finish her work, and not just sit around and do nothing, because she's the lazier of the two. She's kind of like the artsy girl, wanting to write a book. The other ones are really in the wanting to be in the corporate side. One of them wants to kind of climb the ladder. I think that's Nina. So that's really good. My favorite characters in the book are all 3 of the girls, and definitely the writer, and how they have her apartment set up with all the books all over the walls, and it's just cute, and the girls are fascinated by her. And now she's in a nursing home. Her niece finally came to, because she's usually there by herself, and the girls have been over for dinner. She's gone over their home, and they're getting together and knowing their neighbor. And I just think it's really cool that they live in the same building as a writer, and they've, one of the girls have read all her books now that she found in a secondhand store. So it's just right up my alley, and it's probably right up your alley too, because you are watching people talk about books, right? And again, this is what it looks like. A Career in Books by Kate Gavino, written and illustrated by the author. I love it. I don't want it to end. And then the other book, because of the state of the world, and finishing up, I finished How to Kill Hitler. Phenomenal. Tragedy, genocide. The writing was phenomenal because it got to the point. It was under 3 hours on the Libby app, so it was a quick read. I've also checked out Becoming Hitler, watched some documentary, a documentary so far, The Women of Hitler. It'll blow your mind with how crazy he was, how crazy his following was becoming, and the things that were going on to tried to preserve and purify a white race by having blue eyes and blonde hair, things that he didn't have. And there was this sort of propaganda that was going around that he kind of looked like that. But then when he was going around speaking engagements, all these women were falling all over him. Of course, he had dark hair and he was not good looking. It was a mess. And then these women having babies to grow up and marry soldiers that were in the Hitler army. They were really trying to make a full race of this. It was just crazy. But I do want to watch some more of the Hitler documentaries, and reason being, and of course reading the literature. I was saying earlier on a different video that I didn't want to buy any books, because I definitely want to buy anything, these Hitler books. I will check them out on the Libby app, as well as checking them out on the library. Now, I know if I go to Denton, Texas, downstairs they have social studies, nonfiction, and they have, as soon as you walk down there, you see Franz Fanon books, and some of those Franz Fanon books are like $40, $50, $100. Crazy, right? And then they have this whole Nazi section, and I remember going down there going, oh, first of all, I ain't paying this much money for a used book just because it's some niche whatever. I'm not doing it. So if I can't get it from the library, the physical books, because listening to them while I'm painting, and then sometimes I will just sit there and listen to that, especially the one about the plot to kill Hitler. That was so good, and I recommend it because again, it was just short, to the point, about what this one pastor or spiritual leader did to try to get people of other countries to listen to him on what was going on in Germany and how the Jews were being treated, and nobody believed him or would help, and then they couldn't flee to these countries as well as the United States, so there was no safe place for them. And because the Donald is trying to follow the Hitler playbook, I'm diving in deeper than I've ever dove, because this is the here and now, and it is history repeating itself. I kind of want to know what's the next thing that the president is going to do by knowing what Hitler has done, and the parallel. We can't let that happen. We just can't. Keep calling your Congress people or Senate or the House, and just call your representatives. Leave messages. Talk to somebody. Impeach now. Impeach now. Impeach them all, because things are looking like Hitler did this, so I'm going to do that, and I want to go down as this dictator. I'm never getting out of office. Just bypassing the Constitution as if it's not the Constitution of the United States. It's not setting the laws of the land. Like, he's trying to be Putin and Hitler. Come on. History can't repeat itself. So I'm 57% in When We Flew Away, a novel of Anne Frank, Before the Diary, as written by Alice Hoffman, on my Libby app. A mess load of light. Sorry about that. But you see, right? Okay. Part 4, Chapter 8 is what I'm on. And I'm loving it because you get an insight of Anne Frank and all her dreams and aspirations, and her talkative nature, her chatterbox, as they say, and her father and her relationship, so loving, and her mother being the more stern one, and her sister, her presence in her life, and the school, and just the things that are falling apart right around them. And now the United States have gotten, or basically, it's to the point where there's world war, right? So knowing them hearing about the United States being involved now, because the other countries are involved. And then them hearing that the United States are involved now, Anne Frank is so excited because they're hiding. So she has all this built up hope that America is now involved and they're going to rescue us any day now, any time now. It could be now, it could be tomorrow, right? And they haven't rescued us yet because the soldiers are so far away, but they're coming. But the mother is realistic. Like, it may never happen. Just because the United States is involved in the world now doesn't mean we're going to be rescued. Is her train of or her way of thinking. And she doesn't want to get her daughter's hopes up too high. You know, they may never be rescued just because America is now involved. But that's what people used to think about America, is that they were coming to help free people, save people. They're sending their troops. The free country, all right, the world's free leader, they're coming. They're involved in the war. It's going to be over soon. But all they keep hearing is Hitler's bombs and this, that, and the third. And that's where I'm at now. Is history repeating itself? America definitely isn't the light of the world anymore. Europe has taken the lead, and we're reading and smiling on camera and calling our congressmen and state representatives and whomever we can call at the White House. What are you guys doing? Stop questioning these people. The big, beautiful bill is not the Constitution. It's opposing it. Other countries are fighting. What are we doing? What are we doing here in America? Letting it happen? I don't know. You tell me. What are you doing?